Hey, welcome back to the Corbellic Studios. We're going to be knocking out some paintings, some paper paintings right now that's going to be on the table. I'm doing this to show you how to loosen up. I really want to focus a lot on showing you how to loosen up because I see that's a big problem that people feel like it's a challenge for them, and it's understandable. Just to loosen up your mind, but how to loosen up and how to have fun, how to be a child again. It's really not that complicated. Really, we just need to think to ourselves how to make things simple. Don't overcomplicate things. If it's overcomplicated, it's not fun and it's not working. It shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be overcomplicated. On the last video where I was doing some impressionisms on the table, and it was like 4 of them on a canvas, and it was landscapes, right? I said to myself, I'm a lazy artist. I think that's what I really should have called the YouTube channel, is the lazy artist. I don't want to do all the work and all these extra steps and all these gallery stuff and the emails and the social media and all that stuff. I did it. I did the most, okay? If you think that I work hard now, then I was working extremely hard when I was trying to do the gallery route, and I was trying to make everything so pretty and large canvases and email lists and websites. I was working extremely hard, and no, I like to be an actual working artist, not just a working artist, but an actual business of art. Some people just want the title, and that's fine. Some people just want the gallery exposure, and that's fine. But what I show here and what I'm trying to show for you is to make the money. Let's make the money together. Let's show how we're just going to pump out the artwork so you can feed eBay, feed the algorithm, make the money. eBay doesn't know that you're a gallery artist. They don't know that your artwork and what your name is and all of that stuff. Most people that are on eBay buying from you, they're in different parts of the world, they're in different parts of the country, and usually that market, what I've noticed over the years, they're not tapped into the gallery world. They're not tapped into Instagram. It's a different market. They're not into that. They're a different buyer group. So you have to cater to that buyer group if you want the money. So you cater to that world, and you just get on to the next thing. But you're feeding eBay, the algorithm. I got lost in mine. So you're feeding eBay's algorithm, and they're going to give you more sales because they don't know you got pretty art, what's your name, yada yada. Only thing they know is sales conversion. You're pumping it in, you're putting in items in the buy it now store, you're getting a sales conversion, they're giving you more. It's an algorithm system. It's an AI. I just cracked how to do the AI. I went to several conferences with eBay and several conferences within Google to learn these things. So that way I can give it to you. So let's just do it. We're just going to be knocking out some artwork. People always ask me, hey, Corbellic, how did you do 17,000 original pieces of art? And I say, well, this is the secret right here. It's not all of them were one by one on a easel over there with my projector. No, a lot of the times, most of the work how I was able to sell original paintings is this way. These are still paintings. I still have to paint them, even though they're laid out and I'm working on them like together. It's still paintings, okay? And a lot of times people love to collect pieces of art that are on paper so that way they can matte frame it and they can put it behind the glass, they can put it in their bathroom. And not everybody wants a canvas. Most people do want the canvas when it comes to auctions, but they also like the papers too. And we use this to leverage against the canvases. You got to give a variety. You got to have paintings that are the high price point to the middle price point, and then the starting point for other people, okay? So that's how you're going to be able to really succeed in doing this. Don't just be in one area. You got to be everywhere. You got to have variety. All right, so let's give it a variety right now. I don't really know what I'm going to go with, and it doesn't matter. I don't care. I have to get rid of I have an old palette right now. I got to get rid of. You know what I'm talking about when you got that funky old, like it's kind of clunky, it's kind of old paint. I want to get rid of it, but I don't want to. I like to use all my paint. I use all of my paint because it costs money. It adds up. I'm an artist, so in my mind, I'm frugal when it comes to things. I don't care how much I pull in off of eBay or how much money I've ever made. I'm always in the mindset where I come from corporate America. I've been broke before. I know what it feels like, and I do things that are frugal. I don't care. I want my madness. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna just let's do, you know what? Let's do this fast. I'm gonna do maybe 2 or 3 sets of this. All right, is that fine with you? And let's just do some faces. So I just got a wet, cheap brush right here. We're gonna do some watercolor painting like this, like that. Look, you see how quick I'm marking this? Look at this. And we're gonna do that like a swirl. Some more pink, because I'm really trying to get rid of this paint. And I don't like to waste paint. It just, I don't know, it just makes me feel weird. I used to waste paint early in my career and be like, oh, it's just time for me to work on a new palette. And that's just me not being creative, because there's so much that you could do. And then the thing is, even if these don't work out, I'm not telling you that you have to auction these. You don't have to auction these. You could actually have these just go for a buy it now, and put the buy it now at a price point of like $100 to $200. I would put these, I'm gonna give you game right now because you made it this far in the video. If you made it this far in the video, I'm about to give you elite game. I would put these at a price point for $150, because then what's going to happen, most people are going to want a offer, or they're going to put it on their watch list, and then you can make them an offer for 30 to 50% off. And look at that. How much did you already make just off of that sale? You get what I'm saying? You already made between $70 to $100 just because you marked it up. Now, there's an old business psychology where they talk about it was a mattress owner or something like that, right? And he says at the front of his store that he would put his most expensive mattress at the front of the store, which was like $10,000, right? And then people will go, you know, most people who come in here, they're not going to buy that $10,000 mattress. And he goes, I know that, but if I don't have that $10,000 mattress at the front of the store, I'm not going to be able to sell all my other $5,000 to $1,000 mattresses easily. The only reason that people buy those $1,000 to $5,000 mattresses is because they're using that $10,000 one as their quality basis points of where you're at. I hope that makes sense. All right, look, you see how we're just going through this? I'm not even caring. This is gonna, I imagine this is gonna be, I'm doing this like this is gonna be hair. And I'm still just doing kind of like a watercolor thing, right? Now, let's put in some yellow. I really don't think too much about this process, and you shouldn't either. Have it look really, that's what makes it look great. It's the confidence. Check this out. I remember I heard this years ago from this girl I was dating. She went to fashion school. And she said the first thing that they teach you in fashion school, or the most important thing, is that you could get away with anything in fashion, or how a model wears something, by the confidence. She said it's about the confidence of how to wear it, even if it looks silly or tacky, or even if the clothing of it is like ridiculous or whatever. It's the fashion. Now, fashion is not that far off from what we do as far as art and coloring. Battery died there, but what I was saying is that fashion is not that different from what we do as far as artists, because it's the same thing. It's art as far as colors and palettes and yada yada. So there's no different when it comes to that as well. When I think about art is whatever you could get away with, but it's also about the confidence. Become confident in your art. I can tell at times when I look at certain art or certain artists that they're not confident in their decisions that they're making. I always talk about this if you watch my art videos, is that some of the greatest actors, they're not great because of what you think that they're great as. They're only great because they took the courage to make certain strong actions. Before I was an artist and before I was in corporate America, I had wore many hats. I was a thespian, I'm an actor. Maybe that's why I'm able to speak so well and I'm able to just improv and talk. But one of the things that they taught in theater is that make strong choices. It doesn't matter what the choice is as long as you're making a choice, but be confident about it. They would say commit. So it's the same thing when you're doing art. Just commit and show that you're having strong actions. You could tell by the brushstrokes, you could tell by what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Just commit and be confident with whatever it is. Whatever it is, who cares? You already made the choice. That's what it is. Make the choice. The ones who are the worst actors are the ones who scared to make the choice. They don't get hired again. You don't hear about them. That's why they usually say actors too are crazy, and it's true because you have to be kind of on the spectrum to even make choices. It takes courage. That way, always in the eBay art community, when I see your beautiful artwork, I'm always like, you know what? I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the steps that you're taking, because I understand that other people who don't understand what we go through, where it takes courage to do what we do. When no one else understands the process or no one else can see the end results, but you trust in the process, that takes courage. And it's the same thing. I guess kind of what we do, it is kind of like acting. Let me know if that makes any sense. All right. So look, you see how we just did that? These are going to be our faces. We're just doing a principal face right now, right? We just put a lot of color down on there. It was mostly like a color wash, but we have that there. So now what I'm going to do is let's take out I'm going to take out kind of a bigger brush. It's not the 1 inch, but it's I think it's a 1.5 right here. If you want to get work done and you want to be confident, use larger brushes. That's one of the things that I wish that I would have learned early in my career, is using larger brushes, because it shows confidence, but you're also getting the work done. I cringe when I look back at some of my earlier work and it was just with this small brush, wasting time. And it looks like it too, because then it's like I'm not confident in my decisions. All right, so let's take a light purple right here, and we're gonna start putting in some features like an eye, or this will be like the nose area. Maybe that would be a nose area. Or here, look, this is a nose area. Nose area. And then we're going to do this. Let's see, like, and then pretty soon, I'm going to show you what I like to work off of, which is usually like as soon as I get somewhat of an idea of what the facial is going to be, then what I plug in is the eye. And then after that, everything is pretty much downhill. I think we have time. Let's see what time that we're on. We have time to actually do another table. And that's awesome. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually I do 6 at a time, but 5 is fine because it's kind of like an even, where you could do 5, 10, 15, 20 in your mind when you're working these, you know, try to work it like that, where you're just doing 5, that's fine. And then, I mean, you can just see how quick that we're getting this done. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some eyes in. So I'm going to do white. Just like the shape, right? Just the shape of the eye. And then we can actually do the lining later, but at least we're just doing the shape of the eye. And even some of them I'll keep it like, look, there we go. The shape of the eye. The shape of the eye. We're working this quick. You don't have to be married to the idea. Like I said, if at worst we put this up on buy now, you don't have to put these up on auction. You just put this up on buy now so you can pay eBay their blood. You can feed the system, feed the algorithm. Feed the algorithm by making art like this. I'm gonna show you another trick. What you should do is, let's see here. What you can do, all right, like this is a painting that I've done before, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Put a painting or even a printout of something that inspires you and put it to the side like that. That way you could get an idea of where you're working off of when you're working this, because we're not working off of a projector, we're working with ourselves right now. But what you can do just for inspiration, instead of the projector, you can have art pieces that either you printed out or either art pieces that's previously yours as well, that you like the direction of where it was at, or just a certain concept. Do this. The reason why is there's a famous quote Picasso said. Someone asked him, how was he able to produce such a body of work? He produced, they said, like between 60 and 100,000 pieces of art. Who knows, maybe even more, supposedly. But they asked him how he was able to produce the most pieces of art. And the thing that he said he wouldn't have been able to achieve that number, or he wouldn't have been able to keep producing if he wasn't surrounded by his art. So he would hang up art pieces in his studio. He would hang up his art pieces. He would be inspired by it. Now, he didn't use inspiration as a tool to get started. He used action. He said that in doing the action is where the motivation and the inspiration comes. A lot of people have things in reverse. They think, oh, as soon as I get inspired, then I'm going to create great work, or I'm going to get motivated. It doesn't work that way. You have to do the actions first. It's just like exercising. As soon as you get down on the ground and say, I'm just going to do 2 push-ups, you do 2 push-ups, you feel like you can keep going. You're going to do 10, you're going to do more. It's the same concept. Just you have to start first and then it finds you. But that's one of the things that he would talk about, is that he would keep artwork around him. So that's one of the reasons why I keep a lot of my artwork in pictures of them up, of things that I've done before, things that I thought that they weren't going to be successful, that maybe I thought they were too messy or they were too expressionist, abstract, and they were quick. And these things actually sold for hundreds of dollars. So it just reminded me that's why I would keep artwork around. And this one right here, I'm just keeping that right there as a reminder to myself of how I want to work the faces of these women, because that's what they're going to be. And it's going to look so beautiful when it's done, because I'm going to put a mock-up on them with the frame so people know what it looks like. Like said, never leave it up to the imagination for your buyer or for the collector to know what the art is going to look like. Do that for them. All right, so now this is what we're going to do. We can start punching it in with the black lines now. What did I do with the napkin? Oh, it's underneath here, I'm sure. There it is. That way I could just clean the brush off. All right, now what I also like to do anytime that I focus on the eyes, I do the lips. So I do the lips red, so that way we know where we're at. And like I said, you can work this even faster than what I'm doing right now. I'm just running my mouth and showing you how you can do this to get outside your head about being perfect or how things should look. And how are you able to work so fast, Corbellic? One of the things that I use is frustration. I use frustration as a tool where I used to do pretty art and things didn't work out, or life is you ever feel like everything in life is like it's going against you, or a way where you have to work harder kind of thing. Like that's always been my thing. They always say that luck equals preparation meets opportunity, and that's very true. So I always try to make sure that I'm always prepared, because I never been an extremely lucky person. I wouldn't say. Well, I think we're all lucky because we're alive and God blessed us with another day. But you're more lucky when you work. Work works. The more that you work, the better your opportunity, the more that your luck happens to come, the more that you show up. And I'm just I just put the work in. All right, so let's do this. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just doing the eyeballs filling in. I mean, it's kind of wet right now, the acrylic, but it's fine because I'm not married to the idea. It is what it is. And it could be anything that you want it to be. All right, look at that. What I was going to say, because I got lost in thought, is that you ever feel like if things kind of don't go your way or they're going against you, and it's like you always have to fight an uphill battle? I plan for those moments, and I try to make sure that I'm ahead of it. You ever been in a situation where you had a goal that you're going to be out of debt, or you're going to be out of a certain situation, and then all of a sudden it's like a new circumstance happens, and you're like, man, I was so close to being perfect, I was so close to, now it's something else. You have to anticipate those moments. You have to be on top of it so that when they strike, because they are going to strike, and it's like, I'm waiting for you to come. I know you're going to come and try to mess with me in my progress. I'm waiting for you. I'm not going to let you catch me off guard, because I'm going to be ahead of it. And I look at it that way, to help me with art, is I look at it as I'm playing a game of life where I know things happen, and instead of it happening to me, I'm going to be proactive and I'm going to strike back. So that I got lost in train of thought where I was talking about how I approach art to produce so much, where I say I use like either a frustration or I use kind of you know what, I'm tired of trying to be perfect, I guess, is instead of me trying to be perfect, I'm not going to be so perfect anymore. And I'm going to do what I want to do. And there's nothing anybody could tell me that's different. I had a funny comment yesterday. Someone says, like one of the paintings, I guess how I explained it, where I said it was expressionism, something. I don't know, right? You know me, I don't care. And they were like, you should learn your art history, and the definition is actually blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I could call this realism, surreal. I could call this surrealism, contemporary, mosaic if I want to. It's art, it's subjective. I don't care. I could call this whatever I want to. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine being like, so it should be called this? That's the type of thing where it's like you need to use that fuel as well, whatever your fuel is in life circumstances, wherever you feel like life is, I don't want to say it's attacking you, or you might feel like at times things are unfair, because they can be. Take it back. That's my energy of why I do what I do and how I was able to produce so many pieces of art. I'm taking it back. I'm taking what's mine's back. You know, I feel like I've already been robbed of like 20 years of corporate America. I've already been robbed of time. I've already been robbed of finances and just different things where I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm taking it back. And I'm at a point now where I'm free. There's nobody who could tell me anything about it. I'm not going to work so hard in my paintings and all of that stuff. I'm taking it back. I'm selling it. I'm getting my money. I'm not going to be like that artist on that Vermeer documentary where he was like, yeah, well, it took me 40 years to figure out how to paint like that because I wanted to be by freehand. And then it's like, why? By then you could have just made the money and moved on, and you could have been doing something different with your life. Like, not everybody wants to be and like, this isn't for if you want to be an artist forever. You don't have to think about that route either. You can just think about it as a getting your money, and then you can figure out what you want to do. I used to pray to God on it for years to be like, I just want to find whatever I think my passion is. My prayer was just to guide me in the right direction of which my soul and spirit should follow. Because the things that you think is going to make you happy, you might not know it, or whatever your direction might be. And it's like always in life, as long as you're taking the action, it'll guide you in whatever the next evolution is going to be. I believe in that as long as you're taking the action. All right, so let's just tighten this up with some white, and I think we could be done with it, really. But here, we've done this so quick. And you can always have fun with these, however you want to go about it. There's no right or wrong. Let's touch it up with white, like we said. Because white punches up the colors. I'm getting rid of this old paint right here. And then Let's see here. Let's get some of this pink. Now I want to work fast. All right. That's about it on this one. That's about it on that one. Yep. Boom. All right. So look, we just did that together. These are going to come out really cool here. Let me show the camera. They're going to look so much better when they are framed up and mock framed up, and so people can see what they look like. But yeah, this is just an exercise right here. You're just exercising. You're exercising. You're having fun. You're exercising. You're having fun. You're getting loose with the style, but also you're building up your store. You're building up the algorithm. These don't have to be the auctions. These could be the buy it nows. So that way you're just building up a body in there. That's how I was able to sell a lot of paintings as well. You know, it's not just, I didn't sell 17,000 original paintings through auction. I sold it all by using eBay. So we talk more about that in the eBay art community. If you want to learn more about it, click the link below, join us, and I appreciate you.